You are now listening to the Artsindy Crossroads show. Here's
Suk-Yen Lee, host for CBC's Definitely Not the Opera and former VJ for Much Music.
I just Googled Nick Panu online, and I'm just trying to get a visual image of this person I'm talking to, you.
You can go to
You're
YouTube.
You're in a room wearing a black long wig.
Will Sasso stars for Mad TV and another series coming out on CBS.
Your intro there sounded like I was just making my way down to the ring for a MMA fight.
interviews with Ruth Moody, the Wailing Jennies,
You're so welcome. Take care.
Trey Anthony, motivational speaker David Roche, Karen LeBlanc, the star of Nurse, the fighter boy.
Hi, Nick. I'm really good, and thank you for asking me.
People in film, theater, music, the arts. Coming to you from UFV campus, you're listening to Civil Radio 101.7 FM. We're on the line, listeners, with Jarrod of the Jarrod Tyler Band.
Well, I mean, I think the thing that we were on to that was interesting was just, you were saying how it's a different city, right? And it's funny because I keep hearing people say that it seems like it's different here, and like I said, but it really wasn't that long ago that, we were going and playing 4 or 5 times a month in town. I mean, now you can't really, there's just not enough venues to support that.
Yeah, Jarrod, that was just like 2010, 2009. You were playing at all these venues. I was going out to see you, Backstage Lounge, Beaumont, the Yale, the Railway. But we know that they're not the same venues. They have the same name, but they've been renovated and kind of a different mission statement for each venue. And they actually don't have bookers like they used to. The booker is kind of the restaurant manager, kind of who... It's totally different because before, venues in Vancouver used to have a separate booker for bands, but now it's...
A lot of them, excuse me, a lot of them seem to outsource it to, agencies or whatever, right? So, no, that's true. There's not really a guy who is hired, to book and actually sort of be within the musical community and spotting who's good and who's should be playing, and also who should be playing with each other, right? In conjunction of bills, right? Like when you source it out to a agency, it's, I don't know. I mean, then you don't really have your own booker. It's like you just, you pass it on to somebody else. So maybe that's the problem. But you're definitely right. I don't see that a lot. Like it'll be like a dude he's like the prep cook, and then like his side job is to book bands, right? So it's, I mean, unless this guy really knows, then it's sort of like, like you have like a prep cook or something booking all the bands for a club or whatever the talent buyer or whatever his other title is. But yeah, it's like it's not specific. Like he doesn't do it specifically.
Yeah, Jarrod, and well, I don't know if the listeners were tuned in then, but we talked a lot about this, about venues around the city, the GVRD, and we didn't get into the Fraser Valley, but in future conversations we'll talk about that. There's a whole music scene in the Fraser Valley. Yeah, Abbotsford, Langley, Maple Ridge, Chilliwack. But Jarrod, I heard through the grapevine, I think you mentioned it. Yeah, obviously you mentioned it to me today. You're taking off to Nashville. First to LA, right?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I know I'm taking off, but I guess we'll see, what happens. I mean, like I say, I hope it doesn't happen, but my car could break down somewhere. I don't know, and then maybe I'll just stay where it breaks down. Maybe it'll break down like Eugene, Oregon. I'll just stay there.
Where?
Eugene.
Oh, okay.
I don't even want to put that out there, man. I don't want to say that, because if it does happen, then... But you just never know. So anyway, but the point is I guess, yeah, I'm going to head to Los Angeles. And, it doesn't help that friends of mine there are, sending me photos. I got one buddy who's just sending me just photo after photo of just crisp blue sky, and I don't think I've seen sunshine here in, how many weeks. Mind you, I wake up at like 3:30 in the afternoon, so sun's already pretty much going down. But
the sun was out this morning.
Was it?
I think there was a break in this morning, like 9, 10.
Yeah.
I don't know, because
I get up earlier, but it's just, it's like, what time do you get up at in the morning? Are you like one of these guys who's up at like 6 a.m. pulling the yoga pants on, like going jogging, or no?
Well, I don't put on the yoga pants. Well, I go for walks in the morning, but it was pretty cloudy, like from lunchtime onwards, and like right now you see it's bad. Well, I shouldn't say bad. Clouds are cool. We get green grass, green trees. I'll edit that part out. So, Jarrod, I want to put you on the spot. You've played at all the major venues here in the city, the Jarrod Tyler Band. You're the man. You're taking off to L.A.
Boy.
First to L.A., then you have plans to go to Nashville. And don't worry about your car. You won't have car troubles. See, I can see that's how anxious you are, because you're really hyper. I'm going to go, but you think it's too good to be true. Something's going to happen to my car. Why are you so anxious, Jarrod? It's kind of a loaded question because there's a lot. Yeah, just talk about it, man. Like, why are you excited about heading to L.A., leaving Vancouver, performing?
It sounds like one of those questions that they ask, that they're meant to answer like 10 questions, but it's like one question. Okay, what was the question? Why am I going? That's the question, right? Why am I going?
Yeah, to L.A.
Why am I going to L.A.? I don't know, because I don't know, like I like the city. Used to live there.
No, in terms of like performing. Playing music.
It's fast, and there's a lot going on musically. I mean, you can play. I mean, you can just play and play and play, and I know people that are doing it right now. It's not. I think the biggest thing is that you'd be in a manic music scene, or rather like a manic city, where it's just anything can happen, really. So, and of course that, by the way, that goes for the bad as well as the good. You got to be realistic, right? I mean, I don't want to get shot on the freeway. I don't want to put that out there, but I keep saying this stuff, like my car is going to break down. I don't want to get shot on the freeway, but I've never actually, I don't know what it is. I've never actually even ever worried. Like, I used to be berserker style. Like back, 10 years ago, like I'd go down with like, $2,000 in a car that didn't work, and just total berserker. And I really didn't care about anything. But I think this time, the reason I'm a little concerned is because, well, I have this car that's sort of, it seems like it's sort of eerily quiet. It just seems like it's just waiting for something to happen to it. So, but maybe not. I don't know.
A lot of places to perform in LA, Jarrod. So, do you think? Do you notice when you go to different venues there and perform, there's kind of different? It's almost like different incarnations of Jarrod Tyler. Like, you're different around different people when you're at these different venues. Like, you hear artists talk about that. We've talked in the past, when you're performing at a venue, it's kind of different energy, a different vibe. And so, like, do you find that? Is that something you're looking forward to? You can really explore and also play around with your music. That wasn't a good question. But anyways, I'll let you interpret it.
Have you ever, been down there?
No. I'd love to go. L.A.
You should go. I mean, you definitely should go. I don't know. I mean, I used to live there, and it was, what it was is it was just like a lot of fun. There was a lot of cool. Oh, what was that?
Oh, that was the computer. Update ready to install. Sorry about that.
You should totally go, man. Honestly, you'd probably love it there. It's just, there's so much music going on, and beyond that, there's just this vibe. It's like the city, though it changes, it never really changes. There's this vibe that's always there, and it's been there since 15 years ago. It was there, and it's to me, anyways, it's still there. So it's just this kind of vibe. I don't know what it is, the energy, but you should go, man. Honestly, I think you really should.
Yeah, I'd love to go.
I mean, you tell me you're going out to the island, you're going out to, like, Gibson and all these places. You know what? Why don't you just go down there or, somewhere, I guess the cities if you're looking at have great music scenes. Probably New York's got a great music scene, I would think. I've never been to New York, actually.
No, I've heard good things about New York.
New York, Nashville. Yeah, Nashville. I mean, that's like music town. It was funny, I was talking to Jarrod Tyler today. He's one of the only promoters left around town who's still, he's still slugging it out in the trenches, this guy. And anyway, he called me today, and he was telling me that he works with this guy out of Nashville. And so, like we kind of had this conversation about Nashville. I told him I was going to LA, and he's like, why would you want to go to LA, man? I mean, he said, go to Nashville. And that's the thing. Everybody's telling me you should go to Nashville, right? But in terms of just like where I want to be, where I want to live, I can wake up, I can go and I can bike down Santa Monica Beach. I mean, it's like way more where I want to be, but apparently everyone's saying I should go to Nashville because Nashville's it's a songwriter city. It's where people go if you're a musician, if you're a composer, what have you. I mean, so everyone's saying. Anyway, Gary told me this today, which is strange because he's telling me like a day before I'm leaving. So I don't know. Maybe it's just coincidence, but who knows? Maybe I'll wind up there. I don't know, man. Like, there's really no set plan. I think the best you can do is just sort of go into the world or go out there and just see what happens. Like, if you find yourself in a city, because I know these button downers, I know these guys who, like they'll plan, like they'll make like daily goals and like weekly goals and like, like monthly goals. And these guys will stick, and it's really unbelievable how much they achieve. But I just don't know if I could stick to that. It's more like I'm the kind of guy that could go somewhere and then just sort of, get, play the music, do what you can, and play as much music as you can, do as many shows as you can, and, no real set plan, just sort of a general plan. Do you think I'm wrong? Like maybe I should be doing like the daily, weekly, monthly, yearly plan?
I don't know.
Like what do you do? Like, do you have, seriously, like, do you have, like, daily and weekly goals? I mean, I don't know. I guess I kind of do. But, like, do you have, like, a list of daily goals? Like, this is what you want to achieve by the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm kind of, moving towards that kind of approach. And then, like, maybe weekly.
And how's it working? Is it working?
But it kind of keeps me sane, like, if you, I seem to get more done.
Yeah, I guess, because you have something to stick to, but I don't know, I think it would get screwed up. Like, if one or two of those goals got screwed up, then what? I guess, like, you stick to the other goals, but I don't know, it just seems like, I don't know, like maybe there's something to be said for, I don't want to say fate or, but just, like, maybe there's something to be said for some sort of, like, if you put everything towards, people call it the law of attraction, I guess, where you just, you will something or you move towards something. Is that law of attraction, or do I have that wrong? Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that I think if you have like daily goals and everything is just meticulously planned out, it just seems like, there's like margin for error there because there's so many little things you're trying to just do exactly perfectly. Whereas I think if you just kind of go out sort of rogue style, swinging for the fences, you might hit a homer, right? Like that's kind of the idea. And like, what is a home run? I don't know. I mean, maybe for everybody else it's different. For everyone has their own different thing. Like, what is it for you? Like, what is your home run? Like, what would your ultimate home run be? Like getting syndicated on Sirius Radio?
I don't know. I got a lot of different things going on.
Yeah, because everybody has that. Like everybody has that goal, And I see that a lot with artists, and then you have those musicians. It's weird. Like you have like different types of musicians, and you have the guys that are like totally into the paperwork side of it, and they're members of SOCAN, they're members of BMI or whatever, and everything. They're applying for the grants, and they're right in there with the paperwork side of it. you have those guys, and I think those guys tend to get far as well, because I have these friends out in Montreal. They basically, they did the paperwork, they got grants, and they wound up starting up a studio out there, and they've actually recorded some pretty great artists. So, there's that, but then there's also the other kind of artists that, they focus on the art. They focus solely on the art, and they just do like the best, most honest, intense art they can. And it's not really about grants, or it's not really about, paperwork, or getting, finding out like the best way that you can use the internet or something to license your song out. I mean, those are all great things, but it's just some artists are not prone to that. It's almost like Einstein was brilliant, but he would get lost coming home in his car. Like he just had no sense of direction, right?
Oh, really? That's what you heard?
Well, that's what I heard. I don't know if it's true. What the hell do I know? I didn't know the guy, but I read that somewhere.
Oh. But in terms of songwriting, you think you'll get, getting a chance to step away from Vancouver for a while, from the GVRD, creativity-wise, you'll get some inspiration? Because you're going to see it's not going to be dark clouds and rain, it's going to be sunshine, and you'll be at the beach.
It's not going to be Blade Runner. Man, this place is like total Blade Runner. I don't know, man. Like, it never really bothered me before. I think the biggest problem is just that I don't know. I don't really need a creative community to sort of motivate me or inspire me. Like, I think I'm pretty self-contained. Like, I don't really sit around in cafes, pontificating and dissecting the artistic process. I don't really do that. I mean, I'd rather just make the art. So I mean, I can do that anywhere. What I feel is lacking is just like, I want to play live, man. Like, I want to do live shows. I want to rock out live, and it's just that's the issue. Like, you can't do it here like you used to. We had to go down to Portland. We had to go down to Seattle, actually, in over the last few months, just to keep sharp, because the shows we were being offered were, I don't know, we just didn't really want to, especially when they're sort of promoting it as like a band night, and it's like, okay, so they'll contact you or your booker or whoever, and then it's like, okay, we want you guys to come in. There's like 3 or 4 bands on the bill. So you're assuming, okay, well, the way I think it should work is, bands start at like 9, and the bands go till about maybe 12:30ish, and then afterwards maybe you can bring a DJ guy to come in and just, close off the night. But the way they have it now is they actually will book, 3 or 4 bands, put them on at like 7:30, some places even start that early, or 8, and the band's got to be off stage by 10:30, so then they can bring the DJ in earlier, because that's what people want to hear. They want to hear the DJ, which, like a guy that presses buttons, it's just, I don't know, to me it's just like the priorities are kind of backwards, and I don't know, I mean, pretty much every gig that I've been offered in the last 2 months has been like that, so I just don't accept those, because why would you? But don't you think, Nick, I mean, don't you think, like, it's just, like, do you want to go see a band? No,
what?
But like at 8 o'clock, I mean, I don't know, like, people don't even start getting out until like 10. To put a band on, like, okay, I'm going to see my buddy's band for half an hour at 8 p.m. It's just, I don't know, it's weird. It's not like it used to be. Like, I remember we used to play the Railway, and, bands would start about 9 o'clock, and they would, like, go all night. So, we kind of lost that.
Yeah, things have changed. We're on the line, listeners, with Jarrod of the Jarrod Tyler Band. Hey, Jarrod, man, I remember, well, it wasn't the last time, but I was just reminiscing about one of those many times I went to see your live performance at the Backstage Lounge. Remember, right on the water at the Granville Island? It was pretty cool. We go outside, you see the boats and everything. Hey, wait, did you hear, Jarrod? They're going to shut it down, and they might not be bringing back live music at the Backstage Lounge.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard they're closing for renovations, I guess, and then, like when they reopen, they're not going to have live music. Which, I don't know. I mean, someone must have made that decision for some reason.
No,
I don't really know why.
But, Jarrod, we talked a lot about this, but, man, that seems to be happening a lot. A lot of venues are shutting down and renovating, and they kind of have a different mission statement. It's not so much about the live music. How's this been affecting you? I just kind of want to get a sense of how you're feeling. Have you been dealing with depression, and have you been going to the doctor?
I've been mainlining Prilosec.
What's that?
Listen, dude, it's terrible. I mean, what can I say? I love to play live. I mean, that, like, something happens. You know, I think most singers feel that way. Most musicians feel that way, that when you play live, there's just something, you get these weird sort of out-of-body moments, and, you know, and I need to do it, but I can't really do it as much as I'd like to, because there's not enough venues doing it anymore, so, you know, and then I guess the Backstage Lounge is going to be one that, also isn't doing it, so I'm not sure why they're doing that. I guess, I mean, to actually make a conscious decision like that and say, you know what, we're going to reopen without live music. It's almost like they're letting the neighborhood, you know, letting the community know that, hey, guys, listen, don't worry, the live music's going to be gone. So, you know, I don't know where that came from. It's interesting.
Yeah, we talked a little bit before the interview, Jarrod. There'd be times where you'd play easily 4 or 5 times in a month. So now, that's got to be really, as an artist, you know, you don't have as many places to play. You can't play as often. And
yeah, it blows. It blows. I mean, it's pretty much, you know, I can sum it up by saying that it blows. I mean, to not be able to play that much and have to, I guess you can. Like, I guess there's places you can go and play. I guess, you know, you can find places to do it at, but, like, there used to be sort of a fair number, I guess, of venues where you could go that were, like, actual venues. You know, like, they were known for the live music, and, of course, that way you're getting to play with bands from out of town, out of country. Yeah. I mean, for instance, like, we can go put on our own show. Like, if we wanted to, you know, we could rent out the Anza or, I don't know, wherever. I mean, you could do it at community hall, for that matter. You could rent the place out and just kind of do your own show. Like, you know, you can do that at any time, but I think there was a time when you could actually just, you know, play 4 or 5 times a month as well, where, you know, you could go play the Railway one weekend, the Media another weekend, and then there was, of course, like, a lot of promoters in town that used to do shows in these random places, like, you know, Bruce Garish with the Vancouver City Limits nights, you know. Like, he would go to the Beaumont Theater, which is such a wicked venue, and then he would do, like, at the Rowing Club in Stanley Park, right, or someplace in the West End, or, you know, Maine, or wherever commercially. I think he had something going there, too. So, I mean, he would move around town, which is cool, because then, like, if you got in on those nights, you could play so many other venues. No, I was just gonna say, like, I think he's still doing it.
Bruce Garish is still doing his Vancouver City Limits? No, I was just asking. Huh?
Isn't he?
Oh, I thought he's still doing it. I didn't know.
Well, I'm assuming he is.
Oh, wow. Good for him.
But you know what? Maybe not. Maybe he's not doing it anymore. I don't know. I mean, that's just it. Like when you only have a few venues left, like, how do you keep a night like that going?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but I mean, it wasn't always peaches and cream. I mean, you know, there were nights when I remember, I'm not going to say who, but there was a promoter, and I think we did a show way back when at, what the hell was that place on Cordova down in, it's like a country bar now. But what is that place called? The Bourbon. The Bourbon. Do you remember the Bourbon?
Oh, yeah. Bourbon's on Cordova, yeah.
Is it still called the Bourbon?
Yeah, it's still called the Bourbon.
Okay, but it's like a country bar now, isn't it?
No, when I checked last summer, it wasn't a country bar.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I heard it was a country bar.
Oh, okay, maybe it is since the last 4 months, maybe.
But I haven't gone in there probably since that show we played, but it was through they had like one of these outside agencies, which, by the way, you know, this is what most venues are doing now. They're basically sourcing it all out to agencies and promoters. You know, like they don't have their own booker, right? You know, or if they do, it's like they make the prep cook will be the booker. You know, it's like, okay, you got to finish these salads, and then you got to go book some bands. You know what I mean? Like it's strange, but anyway, we did a show there years ago through this promotion company, and anyway, so you know, the place was packed. It was a good night. It was a good show, and it was funny because none of the bands got paid that night. The guy actually, he left before the end of the night, and none of the bands got paid. Yeah, like it was interesting. And then I saw the guy at the Railway Club, like maybe 2 weeks later. I saw the guy, maybe more like 2 months later. And, you know, he said that, hey man, I got some money for you still. Don't think I'm not going to pay you. I got some money. And like, I didn't even ask. Like, I just assumed we weren't going to get it. And so then I saw him a couple times after that, and the guy just would totally avoid me. And so I figured, well, you know, whatever we were getting paid that night, that's all it cost. You know, that this guy would never talk to me again, which is, you know, it's pretty cheap actually when you think about it. It cost to get rid of this guy. You know, that's how much it cost to get rid of him. I was actually at this Christmas party thing the other night, and it was funny because there was a guy there. He was telling us that he was a musician, and he was basically saying pretty much the same thing, that like he, you know, he toured, and this guy was just reciting horror stories. And you know, you hear people tell these stories. And of course, we all have our horror stories, right? Like if you play in a band and you've done any road work, or even just in town, I mean, you know, you're gonna have stories. Everybody's got them. It's just, you know, some of them are way worse than others. And this guy, like, some of the stories he told are just, I mean, it wasn't just not getting paid. I mean, it was having gear stolen by other bands where they're, you know, and getting run out of one town. I guess they were in, like, Nova Scotia somewhere. They got run out of town. And just, you know, it's unbelievable stuff. I mean, I guess it's all part of the adventure, but, yeah, not getting paid is definitely a huge part of, you know, and it's not only that, too, because I know my drummer, he was telling me a story. He was telling me a story about how he was, I guess he was doing a show with a songwriter down, where was it? Well, I guess I shouldn't say where it was, but anyways, they were apparently, like, she ordered like a salad or something, you know, and I guess she thought it'd be okay, and then apparently, like, you know, they were loading up, and they were about to leave, and then some guy came running outside and was, like, shaking her down over this salad, and it's like, okay, well, whatever. I mean, if it was me, I'd just be like, well, you know, she played tonight. Like, I don't know how you would, you know, it's that kind of thing, too, where they just don't want to have an artist in, right? Instead, like, they'll have, like, a DJ in or something, and then...
Yeah, so listeners, we were speaking to Jarrod of the Jarrod Tyler Band. Jarrod's heading to L.A., and, yeah, he will be calling us from the gas station.
From the Chevron, yeah.
From the Chevron, and wherever he is in Seattle, Los Angeles, and maybe heading down to Tennessee. That is the plan.
Yeah, so if, you know, anybody wants to, you know, listen to the music, you know, it's all there on YouTube. It's just, I think we call it the Jarrod Tyler Band Greatest Hits, just because it's, like, I think all our best songs. And also the webpage, jarrodtyler.com. You can find, you know, there's info there. There's all sorts of writing and blogs and stuff. So, yeah, if you're inclined, check it out.